Alright guys, it's that time of the month again. No, I know. It's past that time of the month by a good week. But it's past that time of the month again where I should have made a video about all the Blu-rays I bought in the month of October. But these videos are really fun to make, so let's just get straight on into it. Alright, starting us off is The Great Escape, which I haven't seen, and it's because it's 3 hours long. I hear this is a really good action movie, and if it's that good, I don't want to watch it in 45-minute long increments. I want to watch the full hour. Why? Because I'm weird. Next is Men in Black. I saw this movie a while ago and thought it was really fun. Like, I remember there was a talking pug, and also I remember there was a scene where Will Smith is training to join the Men in Black. And so, when he's training with a bunch of soldiers, and they're doing a simulation, and so all the soldiers are shooting at the aliens in the simulation, but then Will Smith takes one look around and shoots a little girl, and then when he's asked to explain himself, he says that the aliens looked like they were minding their own business, but the little girl had books and was going into an alleyway, so it looked like she was trying to start something. And I haven't seen this in a while, actually. I think I need to go back on that sometimes. Next is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This has actually become like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's not Citizen Kane, but it's definitely very entertaining. I think the best part, actually no, like I was gonna say Ezra Miller is kind of the standout, but Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller are all really good. And I was decently surprised by Logan Lerman because I grew up being forced to watch Percy Jackson like 30 times. I had a cousin over one time, and I ended up watching Percy Jackson like 8 times that week. But I was thinking, like, Logan Lerman is a terrible actor. And then I went thinking that for years. And then I watched this movie, and it changed my entire worldview. And quickly, before I go on to the next movie, I want to talk about a scene I really liked where Logan Lerman's character is playing Truth or Dare with a few of his friends. And then so Ezra Miller's character says, "I dare you to kiss the prettiest girl in the room." And it's expected that he would have kissed his girlfriend. And instead, he kisses Emma Watson's character. And I just burst out laughing. And is that the appropriate reaction? No, but I'm not really sure if it's because the movie missed its mark, or I'm just a really terrible person with a weird sense of humor. But I think it might be the latter. Next is Pan's Labyrinth. I made a review of this, talking about how much I liked it. And if you watched it, you know how much I like it. But a quick word of advice. Don't buy this Blu-ray. There's a version called the Criterion Collection. It's $28, which is a bit too much, but it looks better because this one looks like they took the whole movie and just tinted it yellow. And like things that shouldn't give off a lens flare do, like plants that are damp, like there could be a leaf that just has some water on it and it'll be basically just white. Like actually I have a light on to prevent like a glare. This is what it would look like. It would look like that part up there. And so, yeah, it's a weird Blu-ray, but, like, compared to buying it on 4K for $25 or Criterion for $28, I would rather just buy this at a used bookstore or a thrift store for, like, $6. Next is that was Pan's Labyrinth. This is Poltergeist. And Poltergeist, it doesn't really scare me. I thought it would've, but like there was one scene with the clown doll, and it just like disappears for a second, and then it appears right behind a boy. That was only the scary part in there, and it wasn't even scary. It was just more like, ooh, that was weird. But this doesn't scare me, and it's not because I don't have a soul. That's why Pan's Labyrinth doesn't scare me. The reason Poltergeist doesn't scare me is because it has really bad special effects. Like, it's so bad. I think the main reason I like this is because of what I call the Spielberg touch, where there will be like a serious movie, and in between the serious moments are some of the most heartfelt moments put to film. Like Jaws, for example. That is a movie about sharks that prey on humans and eat them alive. And meanwhile, in between shark attacks, you have one really heartwarming moment with the main character and his son. And that's what the Spielberg touch is. And this isn't directed by Spielberg, it's directed by Tobe Hooper, but it is produced by Steven Spielberg. And that's how the Spielberg touch ended up in here and made this a really great movie. Sorry, I had to do something. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was at Chicago. I like Chicago. I watched it the first time and I was like, it's okay. Like, yeah. And I was thinking, how did this win Best Picture at the Academy Awards? This was a terrible decision. But the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more. I like this movie more than the first time I watched it, at least. Yeah, it's got issues, but I didn't overlook them. I just kind of let them. I think oftentimes when you have issues with a movie on the first time, it's better to watch it the second time, because then sometimes the issues work themselves into the story, and then you learn that the issues aren't that big of a problem anymore. But I like Richard Gere in this movie as this lawyer named Billy Flynn, and he's kind of like this just self-obsessed person. Not self-obsessed, but like all he cares about is himself. Like, he doesn't, like, he's a lawyer, but you can tell, like, he doesn't want to win a case for his client. He wants to win for his reputation, like, so he can say he's never lost a case. And one thing I really like about Chicago, I liked it both times, is the stage musical aspect of it, because in Chicago, every musical scene is made so it looks like it's performed on a stage or like in a nightclub, and so I really like that. And quickly, I want to use this time to teach you a valuable lesson about what you do with stickers. There was a sticker right here, so I went to peel it off. It was like some stupid advertisement, and then it left the residue. It didn't tear off any of the paper, it just left residue, and it bothered me, so what you should do is you should get you should get this thing called Goof Off, or you should just dab it with the sticker until the residue comes off. But no, I went straight for the acetone and peeled off the finish like an idiot. So now it looks like somebody spilled water at this part at all times, but I've learned to live with it. Next is Jack Reacher. I haven't seen this movie, actually. Like The Great Escape, it feels like a commitment, because it's an hour, or 2 hours and 10 minutes. But when I do, I probably will enjoy, I probably am gonna enjoy it a lot, because the main seller for me is, this stars Tom Cruise, and that kind of got me to want to see it. Like, it has Tom Cruise on the spine, so that got me to take it off a store shelf and be like, hey, what's up with this Jack Reacher? Then I read the back, and I noticed something. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie. Now, that probably doesn't mean much to you if you're not like me and you don't, like, obsess over pretty much the reputation and credentials of every person who is important to the movie. But one of my favorite movies of all time is called Mission Impossible Fallout, and that's one of my favorite movies, a great action movie, and that stars Tom Cruise and is directed by Christopher McQuarrie as well. And so I was like, yeah, dynamic duo there. But I'm kind of excited to see this. I hear there's a really good car chase in here. But, yeah, I'm just excited to watch that. Next is The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight. If you haven't seen it, you gotta. It's so good. It's it's another one of my favorite movies of all time. And actually, also, the next movie up is also another one of my favorite movies of all time. We got Perks of Being a Wallflower, Pan's Labyrinth, and now The Dark Knight. 3 really good movies. But I think the main triumph in this movie, Heath Ledger as the Joker. He is like one of the best movie villains ever. Why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face. You're welcome. Today you got to hear a really terrible Joker impression. But I think Christopher Nolan, the director of this, is one of the best directors ever. And this is one of his rare films that doesn't follow his timeline of like really confusing stuff. Like, he has some weird movies. Interstellar's weird. Memento takes place backwards. I haven't seen it. He has movies like that. Some take place like present, past. Like, yeah, they do that. He does that stuff. But I really like The Dark Knight. There's a scene that I really like in here that I thought was smart, where Batman finds a bullet hole in a wall, and so he tries to get the bullet from there, and also takes a part of the wall. And so what he does is he shoots other bullets into samples of walls. And so the cool thing about it is that way he can find out how the bullet shatters, and then that way he can find out how to reassemble it and find the fingerprint that the Joker left when he pushed the bullet into the ground. So I thought that was like one of the smartest things I've ever seen. Next is Psycho, like I said earlier with The Dark Knight, another one of my favorite movies of all time. This is a really good movie. I love Psycho, and also, this one comes with Psycho and Psycho Uncut. And in case you don't know what that means, it means, there's just a few extra seconds with Psycho Uncut, but it's definitely better for a few extra reasons, and I go into depth with it with a review I made of it, so you should watch that. But if you haven't, you should at least watch Psycho first, because I do spoilers in there. And next is Manhattan. I haven't seen Manhattan, but one thing stood out to me: Woody Allen. I think Woody Allen has become like one of my favorite directors for me. Before, like, I kind of go through these different phases with movies where, like, I'm really obsessed with a certain director. It went, like, Spielberg, Scorsese. I did Hitchcock for a bit. Charlie Chaplin was a really long phase. Did a short Buster Keaton phase, but now I'm kind of at the Woody Allen phase where I like his films a lot. I think they're kind of, like, he's a genius. Two films that I really like, Midnight in Paris and Annie Hall, were directed by him. And Annie Hall is one of my favorite movies, so I'm excited to see this. I hear this is like his second best movie, so I'm excited to see this eventually. Next is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I have special memories of this movie. This is like a really special movie for me for 2 reasons. It was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters, and also the only one I really liked. After that I watched it's the first Star Wars. I've watched every other Star Wars movie in theaters after this except for Solo, which it turned out being good because I don't like Solo. But I kind of wish they made the Star Wars movies after this better. Because when you make a bad sequel, it reflects negatively on the original. Because you see all the potential it could have had. But the other reason this is special to me is because I actually saw this in the theaters with my grandpa, and 2 of my cousins, and they hadn't seen any of the Star Wars movies before. So it was kind of funny to see their faces as I felt like I kind of had that psychic thought, like, they're probably thinking, what in the heck is going on? But I think they paid a little of, like, with the Millennium Falcon and, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Chewie, like all the original stuff, but like this is I think this is a place you could start with Star Wars. Like this is not that hard to catch up if you have some basic knowledge on Star Wars, you might know a bit about this. But I actually think this is my third favorite Star Wars movie because I definitely like it better than Return of the Jedi. Next is Cowboy Bebop, the complete series. This is an anime, but if you don't like anime, don't let it throw you off. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, it's up there with The Office, Mad Men, Cowboy Bebop. I think this is definitely better than The Office, and I think you could definitely compare it to Mad Men. They're both kind of character-based shows, but this is has really nice characters. If you like Star Wars, you might like this because of the bounty hunter. Like, the main characters are all kind of bounty hunters, but this show, episodes 1 through 4 they're like, yeah, this is good. This is action packed. But then after that, once you get to episode 5, it's so good. Like, I was enticed at episode 5. It was so good. There was one thing I want. This movie pays a lot of tribute to older films. Like the main character, Spike Spiegel. He practices Bruce Lee's martial art form. But I'm only on you want to know how good this show is? I'm on episode 7 or 8, and I think this is one of my favorite shows of all time. I think this isn't. I think I could probably watch this in a day. Yeah, I could watch this in a day. Finally is Interstellar. I haven't seen this on 4K. As you can see, it's still in that little cellophane making that crinkling sound. But the day I do, I'm excited because one scene I'm excited for is this scene with a wormhole, and I hear that took a long time to make in special effects. But I think this is one of the most well-acted movies I've ever seen. Matthew McConaughey was really good in this movie, but there's definitely some bad parts of it. There's a twist in there, which I won't spoil for you, but I just thought it was underwhelming. And there's a lot of weird things about this, but I think overall this is a really good movie, and I hear this is reference quality 4K, but I guess I won't know because I haven't seen it on 4K. But yeah, I guess that's all I got this month. 13 Blu-rays. Wow, that is a lot when you look at it. But now I guess it's on to the Blu-rays of the month. Alright, so I realized I didn't actually. Last month I did the Blu-ray of the month, but I didn't actually pick any that I got last month, so I quickly want to brush by it. And now I'm actually doing nominees. 5 nominees every month. So, nominee for last month, Mission Impossible box set. I nominated the box set, but I specifically want to nominate Ghost Protocol. And that's the one where Tom Cruise climbs the Dubai Tower. And apparently it's the tallest building in the world. I'm not really sure because I'm not smart or anything. I can't verify that. But Ghost Protocol has possibly the most to show in terms of stunts. And everything feels bigger than all the other ones. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. I barely know what I'm talking about either. Next is 1917 on 4K. I said in my last Blu-ray editions video that I didn't like this 4K, but I think I've come to like it a bit more because the main issue I had with it was that it blurred out a person who was about 3 inches away from George McKay's character. But I think that isn't really as big as a problem when you realize it isn't really the 4K transfer's fault at all. It's more of as I said, director's choice. Sorry, I just noticed something on here. But it's director's choice But you can kind of focus on the really good aspects of it. Like, you can even see stitching in people's uniforms. There's a lot of really good scenes, like, with explosions and fire, and they all look really nice. And especially that this looks like it was shot using only one shot, and so that's the main reason I nominated 1917. Next is Alien on 4K, which, yeah, I finally watched it and thought it was really, really good. I love Alien. I think this might be one of my favorite movies. I nominated this one because there are a lot of dark scenes in Alien, and they all look really nice. Especially one scene where, like, I don't remember what, I think Ripley was climbing something, but then you see her hand, and then she pushes herself up, and I thought that was, like, a really detailed scene, because, like, you could see the wrinkles in her hands, you could see dirt on her hands, and I just thought that was a really nice-looking part of the 4K, and that just turned into kind of a small rant about hands. Next is Annie Hall. Weird choice, you might think it, because so far we have a giant action movie, a war epic, and a sci-fi horror movie in space. And next you have a rom-com, but the reason I nominated Annie Hall was because it has a nice grainy crispness to it, which, yes, that is very fun to say, if you're probably thinking to yourself. Say it with me, kids. Grainy crispness. Anyways, I nominated this because it looks really nice. It kind of looks like a newer film that was shot on an old camera, and so I thought that was cool. And there's a scene at the beginning where Woody Allen's character is explaining two of his favorite jokes, kind of to us as the audience. But he's standing behind an orange background, and I thought it looked really nice for some reason. And finally, final nominee, Jaws on 4K. I said I really liked this 4K, and I meant it. The main reason I like it is because a lot of scenes that looked very, like, green screen and CGI, they kind of patched that up nicely. And so, yeah, that's why I nominate Jaws. And the winner is, we're going to do a drum roll for this, so try and drum roll with me. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Yeah, like I said, this has a lot to show. And there are a lot of scenes in here that look very nice. There's a scene where, he is fighting, he is looking for a villain, and so he's chasing him through a sandstorm, and I thought that looked very nice. It was a very nice shade of orange, which was a weird thing I just said. But yeah, I like Ghost Protocol a lot, so that's kind of a bonus. Granted, I like Alien and Annie Hall and Jaws a lot, and 1917 a bit as well. But I think, overall, this is the best looking Blu-ray, and I highly encourage you to get all of that last month's nominees and these month's nominees, because they also look really good on Blu-ray. So now on to this month's nominees. First is Chicago. You can't really say much about, like, the scenes, that are just normal, but when it comes to scenes where, they're doing the musical moments, or the musical scenes, the nightclub performances, they look spectacular on this Blu-ray, and that's why I nominated it. Next is The Dark Knight on 4K. This is a really nice looking 4K. I think the best part about it is it gives you IMAX scenes that look really good. And an IMAX scene is basically what you'll get, or no, it's the closest you'll get to watching this movie in theaters nowadays. The very first scene in this is where the Joker and his gang are robbing a mob bank, and so, that was possibly one of the nicest looking things in this movie. Like, I got a new 4K player recently, because my old one broke, and I was like, okay, I want to test out to make sure this is a good 4K player. Pop in The Dark Knight. Yeah, but another really good scene in here was when, Batman goes to kidnap I know that sounds really bad of Batman to do, but he kidnaps a criminal. So it's justified, I think. But, that's another really nice looking IMAX scene. And so all the IMAX scenes are really nice. Next is Psycho on Blu-ray. This is a black and white movie, and my, no, never mind. My stingy senses were kind of tingling when I got this one on Blu-ray, because I was like, I mean, it's an old movie, but I was proven wrong. This looks very nice. Like, if you see this picture of, Norman Bates with Marion Crane's boyfriend and sister, you probably can't see it because my camera's really terrible, but it looks very nice. It just looks very nice. It's very high contrast. It looks like I said with Annie Hall, this also looks like a new movie that was shot in black and white and on film. And the other reason I'm nominating this is because it comes with Psycho Uncut. And that's actually a very recent thing in America, I think. We also had Psycho on 4K, which I heard wasn't that great of a 4K, but that also came with the uncut. And next is Star Wars The Force Awakens. This is a really good-looking Blu-ray. There's two parts in particular that are kind of standouts. One is when these scenes on this planet called Jakku, which is basically, it's basically Tatooine, but with extra rubble, and there's, like, a bunch of junkers there, and it's less of a city, the sky in there is blue, and the sand is really orange, and so I thought those scenes looked really nice, because, in case you don't know, blue and orange are the exact opposites, and when you add two colors together that are kind of opposites, they look really nice. And the other scene actually that I thought was really nice was when Kylo Ren and Finn are fighting with their lightsabers, and that's the only light they have. So that's an incredibly nice looking scene, because, like, the main light is coming from their lightsabers, and it makes their lightsabers look really nice. And finally is Cowboy Bebop The Complete Series. There's an episode in here where, this, animal rights group that's also kind of a terrorist organization, like PETA. Sorry, did I just cough and say like PETA? Anyways, they're, this animal rights terrorist organization. They fly through, hyperspace, I think they called it. Like, they fly through hyperspace, and, eventually they actually, like, close it off, so that they trap them in hyperspace. But they're also in there with an explosive. Not an explosive, more of a disease that also explodes. But, that looked very nice. And another thing is, there's a lot of the episodes, or a lot of scenes usually, open with, the ship, the Bebop, flying through space. And they always look really nice. And finally, another really good part of this is this ship right here. That is not the Bebop, this is the Bebop, but, I believe it's the Bebop, yeah. But, Spike's ship, it always looks really nice on here for some reason, like, it's really well drawn, and so are the characters. So that's why I nominated this. And the winner, we're gonna do another drum roll, so get ready to drum roll. Sorry, I need to grab this. Star Wars The Force Awakens. Like I said, I really like this. And actually, because I really don't want to, like, leave this without saying anything, since I really don't want to make it seem like this is better, I want to kind of choose a second place, so, like, lesser drum roll. I'm doing it with my fingers, like, do that. The Dark Knight on 4K. Like, the main reason this didn't win, it's a really good 4K, but it's mostly the IMAX scenes that really stood out to me. Like, it wasn't any of the scenes outside of that, but they all kind of looked, they didn't stand out that much, but the IMAX scenes were very good. So, if you guys want to, like, if I were to sell you a TV for 4K, Even though this isn't a 4K, it might as well be because it's looking really nice. And this is a 4K that I actually recommend you get. So first place, second place. These are kind of the highlights. And so that's why I recommend you watch on Blu-ray or 4K because they both look incredibly good. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this month's Blu-ray edition video. I very much appreciate that you're watching this right now and that you actually finished it because this is a long video. But I'm very happy you watched it, and I hope you liked this video enough to consider pressing the like button, and I hope you like my channel enough to try and keep up with my really bad update schedule and watch my next video whenever that comes out. And thank you again for watching. Remember to stay safe, and remember to watch good movies. Bye!